Uttamam Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatottama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sati Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshata Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 12. The Lord has been speaking now to the four Kumaras to pacify them. Tanmesva bhartur avashayam alakshmano yusmad vyatikrama gatim pratipadya sadhyaha bhuyo mamantikam itam tad anugraho me yat kalpatam achirato bhratayor vivashaha. These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me, if you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. From this statement, we can understand how anxious the Lord is to get his servitor back to Vaikuntha. Therefore, this incident proves that those who have once entered a Vaikuntha planet can never fall down. The case of Jay and Vijay is not a fall down, it is just an accident. The Lord is always anxious to get such devotees back again to the Vaikuntha planets as soon as possible. It is to be assumed that there is no possibility of a misunderstanding between the Lord and the devotees. But when there are discrepancies or disruptions between one devotee and another, one has to suffer the consequences, although that suffering is temporary. The Lord is so kind to his devotees that he took all the responsibility for the doorman's offense and requested the sages to give them facilities to return to Vaikuntha as soon as possible. So Krishna is anxiously waiting for each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is an eternal servitor of the Lord. When Sanatan Goswami asked Lord Chaitanya, what is the position? Who am I actually? What is my position? Then Lord Chaitanya said, Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. Every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord. And we can see that the Lord is very anxious for each of us to come back home. He's anxious. You know, we get anxious, right? When, oh, our kids are not yet back, it's late in the evening. What happened? Or if our loved one, maybe not kids, maybe spouse or maybe parent or, you know, whoever we are attached to, oh, they're not yet back home. What's happening? What's keeping them so long? We get that little anxiety. Here we can see Krishna is anxious. He's anxiously waiting for us. Oh, why haven't they come back? When will they come back to me? And then he's taking his personal responsibility. He's telling the four Kumaras, please let Jaya Vijay come back very quickly. Don't let them be very long there. So he is personally taking charge. It's in our self-interest if we go to Vaikuntha as soon as possible to be in the personal association of such a loving personality. Krishna is very loving personality. And then once incident proves that once who have entered Vaikuntha planet, there can never be a fall down. When Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, one who reaches to my eternal abode, never takes his birth again in this material world, O Arjuna, but attains to my eternal abode.
So then why were Jay and Vijay, once they were in the Vaikuntha, right? In Golok, in fact. Now they were the doormen. So how did they fall down? If once you reach there, you shouldn't fall down, right? They came down to the material.
Yeah, so they are in Vaikuntha, and as we just read, it's not a fall down. It's a pastime arranged by Krishna. He wanted to fight. The acharyas explain it. The acharyas who comment on the Bhagavatam, they comment that Krishna was needing to fight. And so who can fight with him? Only his loving, pure devotees can fight with him. And so this incident happened. And that's how they are going to come as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. So it's not a fall down.
That means they were aware of it. Like
yeah.
This is okay.
Yeah, and so they are accepting their role now. They are going to accept, okay, as Hiranyakashipu, and we are going to hear.
Okay.
We're going to hear. Brahmavacha atatashyo shatim devim rishikulyam sarasvatim nashpadyam manyu dashtanam tesham atma api atrapyata. Brahma continued, even though the sages had been bitten by the serpent of anger and their souls were not satiated with hearing the Lord's lovely and illuminating speech, which was like a series of Vedic hymns. Okay, so the four Kumaras are not yet satisfied. And Satim Vyadaya Shrinvanto Lakvim Kuruv Arthagavaram Vigaya Gada Gambiram Navidustak Chikirshitam. The Lord's excellent speech was difficult to comprehend because of its momentous import and its most profound significance. The sages heard it with wide open ears and pondered it as well. But although hearing, they could not understand what he intended to do. So they are hearing, the four Kumaras are hearing what the Lord is saying, but they couldn't understand the Lord's intention. They couldn't understand the Lord's intention. So it should be understood that no one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead in speaking. There is no difference between the Supreme Person and his speeches, for he stands on the absolute platform. The sages tried with wide open ears to understand the words from the lips of the Supreme Lord. But although his speech was very concise and meaningful, the sages could not completely comprehend what he was saying. They could not even comprehend the purport of the speech or what the Supreme Lord wanted to do. Nor could they understand whether the Lord was angry or pleased with them. So they couldn't understand what does the Lord want. Te yoga maya rabda maya ya rabda parmeshtya maho dayam prochu pranjalayo vipra praharshta shubhita tvachaha. The four Brahmana sages were nevertheless extremely delighted to behold him, and they experienced a thrill throughout their bodies. They then spoke they spoke as follows to the Lord, who had revealed the multi-glories of the Supreme Personality through his internal potency, Yogamaya. So the sages were almost too puzzled to speak before the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the first time, and the hairs of their bodies stood erect due to the extreme joy. So this is ecstasy. Imagine seeing the Lord himself. You know, we hear like Dhruva Maharaj, for example, when he saw the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj wanted a king bigger than Lord Brahma. So he was praying for that. And as soon as he saw the Lord, he was speechless. He couldn't speak. He felt ecstatic symptoms in his body, you know. And then the Lord told him, okay, you ask me what you want. He said, no, I'm just satisfied. Just looking at you, I don't have any other desire now. I was foolish that I had all these other broken pieces of glass I was wanting. He's calling the kingdom and all the, you know, the hurt, all that. Broken piece of glass. He said, I don't want anything more. I can see you. What more do I want? I'm fully satisfied. So here the four Kumaras, they are feeling this extreme joy just looking at the Supreme Lord. The highest opulence in the material world is called Parmeshtya, the opulence of Brahma. But that material opulence of Brahma, who lives on the topmost planet within this material world, cannot compare to the opulence of the Supreme Lord, because the transcendental opulence in the material world is caused by Yoga Maya, whereas the opulence in the material world is called by Mahamaya. So material world is Krishna's external energy called Mahamaya. Spiritual world is manifested by Krishna's internal energy called Yogamaya. So Rishya Ucha Navayam Bhagwan Vedams Tava Deva Chikishitam Krito Me Anugrahas Cheti.
Sorry, there is one word there
Yeah.
that the highest no, that in the material the opulence, the highest opulence. So can you explain this one?
Yeah. So because the material world is made of this earth, water, air, fire, ether, you know, the material elements. The material world is made up of material elements which are dead matter. It's not living. We get so attracted, but if we try to understand what are we getting attracted to, it's just dead matter. You know, it just comes in beautiful shapes and beautiful colors, but it's dead after all. It could be a car, it could be a house, it could be some thing, you know, anything. Clothes, we get attached to many things. And so here Brahma, has a lot of these things. He's living in a beautiful palace. He has this whole universe to rule over. But in the spiritual world, everything is with the internal energy. So it means it's Sat Chid Ananda. Everything over there is Sat Chid Ananda. So even if you have a house, it's Sat Chid Ananda. You know, it's inconceivable to us, because for us here, the house means bricks, means earth, water, air, fire. That's what we are used to. That's all the material elements. But what is the spiritual world? Satchidananda. So everything there is Satchidananda, spiritual. So we cannot compare the opulence. Does that make it a bit clearer?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So just yesterday we were in our Bhakti Vaibhav, we were saying that how the Lord is actually he's anxiously waiting for each and every one of us come there. The description is given in Brihad Bhagavatam Gita. Brihad Bhagavatam Gita is the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam by Sanatan Goswami. And then, so it's the journey of Gop Kumar. And then when Gop Kumar reaches Golok Vrindavan, when Gop Kumar reaches Golok Vrindavan, so he sees Krishna and Krishna sees him. Krishna is with the Gopals at that time, but Krishna sees Gop Kumar and he's like, oh my God, you're finally here. And Krishna starts running towards Gop Kumar and Gop Kumar is running towards Krishna. And both of them are feeling so much happy, so happy. they're feeling so much ecstasy in their heart that they're able to see each other. And Krishna is so happy that both Krishna and Gopkumar faint even before they reach each other, but in the happiness, in the ecstasy of the joy, you know. And then somehow the other Gopkumar comes out, the Balaramji is there, then Balaram is telling Gopkumar, okay, you put your arms around Krishna, you chant Hare Krishna to him, whisper in his ears. And that's how Krishna gets his consciousness back, and he's so happy to see Gopkumar. Similarly, when we go to the spiritual world, Krishna is going to be very happy to see us. He's waiting for us. You know, he's waiting. And then it is said that when any soul goes back, then Krishna is happy, and then Krishna personally introduces them. Okay, this is your house, this is where you live, this is your parents, or this is your sister. Then he says then he takes them to Mother Yashoda's house for a big feast, you know. So yeah, that's like a tiny glimpse.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know?
Amazing.
Amazing, amazing. Krishna is anxiously waiting for us. He loves us a lot. He loves us. We love him also a lot. We just need to revive this love and just go back to him. Rishaya ucha navayam bhagwan vedam stava deva chikirshyitam kritome anugrahas cheti yad adyakshaha prabhashase. The sages said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know what you intend for us to do. For even though you are the supreme ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you. So the Fukumanas are thinking, hey, what happened here? You know, we are not able to understand. Here we curse your doorkeepers. So are you upset with us? Are you happy with us? Seems as if we have done a favor for you. What's happening?
He's asking for forgiveness.
Yeah, he's asking forgiveness, and he's saying, I can cut my hand off. Yeah, can you imagine? I can't just get over this thing. Oh, Krishna, I can cut off my arm for my devotees. Yeah, he's the Supreme Lord. It's so loving. And that's what we need. We are all here trying in this material world to get some happiness in these material things. But who we are truly searching for is Krishna. Is Krishna, because these material things are just dead matter and they don't satisfy us. So the sages could understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above everyone, was speaking as if he were in the wrong. Therefore, it was difficult for them to understand the words of the Lord. They could understand, however, the Lord was speaking in such a humble way just to show them his all-merciful favor. So they were saying, okay, to show how Krishna is so merciful, so compassionate. Brahmanasya param devam brahmana kilate prabho vipranam deva devanam bhagwan atma devatam. O Lord, you are the supreme director of the Brahmanical culture. You're considering the Brahmanas to be in the highest position is your example for teaching others. Actually, you are the supreme worshipable deity, not only for the gods, but for the Brahmanas also. So because Krishna was saying that the Brahmana is the highest for me, you know, I can do anything for the Brahmana. So then now they are saying, yeah, but you know, even the Brahmanas, who you're saying you can do anything for the Brahmanas worship you. The demigods worship you. So you are being an example of how that we should follow, how our behavior should be towards the Brahmanas. Here the Brahmanas means the devotees, the Vaishnavas. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. In the material world, we always think, oh, this, we know there's a cause. This thing happened because of this. This thing happened because of this. And if we do research work, we'll come to Krishna. And then we'll say, oh, then how come Krishna has no cause? No, he doesn't. He's God. He's the cause of all causes. And that baffles many people. That's what many people are not able to understand, because in our material experience, everything is a cause. Then we come to Krishna and there's no other cause to him. And we're like, huh? How can we? That's what it is. So there are undoubtedly many demigods, the chiefs of whom are Brahma and Shiva. Lord Vishnu is the Lord of Brahma and Shiva, not to speak of the Brahmanas in this world, material world. So Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are the very powerful demigods in this material world, controlling the mode of passion and ignorance. But even higher than them, and who are they worshipping? They are worshipping Krishna. Lord Brahma and his Brahma Samhita, whole Brahma Samhita, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Lord Shiva, what is he doing? He's constantly meditating on Lord Krishna. He's always in meditation. And who's he meditating on? On Lord Krishna. So as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord is very favorable towards all activities performed according to Brahmanical culture, or the qualities of control of the senses and mind, cleanliness, forbearance, faith in scripture, and practical and theoretical knowledge. So Krishna protects this Brahmanical culture, because he knows when we have this Brahmanical culture, we will be able to live here peacefully. And that is, the soul is, we are after all pure, it's just we think we are the body, and because of that, we get into all this passion and ignorance. But the soul is pure. So the Lord is the super soul of everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord is the source of all emanations, and thus he is also the source of Brahma and Shiva. We all always wonder, oh, how this world came about, what happened? So we are hearing in Bhagavatam, everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. And he says it himself in Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhava matas, that everything is emanating from him. All this material and spiritual worlds are emanations from him. Any comments? No?
So that means that that it's written here that the Lord, he wants to protect the Brahmanical, this one, right?
Brahmanical culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this line, where is that? Yeah. Or the qualities of the Supreme Lord is very favorable towards all activities performed according to Brahmanical culture, or the qualities of the control of the sense. So that means that whatever the Brahmanas are doing, that he's favorable to. He wants to protect that, right?
Yeah, but now we have to understand who's a Brahman.
Yeah, okay, yes. Absolutely.
Because many people, they say we are a Brahman, but their qualities and their activities are not Brahmanical. So Krishna is here speaking about the devotees.
Okay.
Yeah, the devotees. Not just the Jati Brahman, not
got your point. Okay. So that means that those qualities that a devotee has, like how he's controlling his sense of mind, and how he's so clean, and how he's so humble, and how he reads the Vedas. So that is what Krishna is protecting, right?
Yes, he wants.
And that's very dear to Krishna.
Yes, okay. He wants us to follow this Brahmanical culture.
The four principles.
Four principles, yes. Follow the four principles. Don't engage in sinful activity. Then what happens? Be satisfied. Brahmanical quality, be satisfied. Then when even a major portion of the population follows this Brahmanical culture, the whole face of the world will change. There will not be so much anxiety, stress, and unrest in the world. Because Brahmanical culture is peaceful. Peaceful.
So you can say like how in Satya Yug.
Satyog, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Tattvataha sanatano dharmo rakshyate tanubhistava dharmasya paramo guryo nirvikaro bhavan mataha. You are the source of the eternal occupation of all living entities. And by your multi-manifestations of personalities of Godhead, you have always protected religion. You are the supreme objective of religious principles. And in our opinion, you are inexhaustible and unchangeable eternally. So you are the source of the eternal occupation of all living entities, means Sanatan Dharma. Krishna is the one, he's the source of the Sanatan Dharma. And then you're always protecting religion. You come in different incarnations. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. That's said in the Bhagavad Gita. Then what's the objective of religion? Is Krishna. You are the supreme objective of religious principles. To love God is the highest religious principle. Religion means to love God. That is religion, to love God. And then they are saying you're inexhaustible and unchangeable eternally. Krishna is unlimited, unlimited and unchangeable. Never his form never becomes material, always transcendental, unchangeable.
So this all the four Kumaras are speaking, right?
Yeah, so I'm not sure is one of them, like, is it Sanat Kumar who usually speaks? Is it him, or are they taking turns? I'm not sure. The statement in this verse, Dharmasya Parmo Goya, refers to the most confidential part of all religious principles. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The conclusion of Lord Krishna in his advice to Arjuna is, give up all other religious engagement and just surrender unto me. This is the most confidential knowledge in executing religious principles. You know, Krishna says, just surrender unto me. Then Arjuna will say, oh, but Krishna, I'm afraid if I just surrender unto you, what about my other things that I'm doing? I'll get sinful reactions. That's the reason Krishna says, and I shall take away all your sinful reactions. And he also tells to Arjuna, do not fear. Krishna is saying, don't fear, Arjuna. I'm there. You just surrender unto me. I will take care of you. I'm not gonna, you know how we say, ditch you. Because here in the material world, we see that our faith is, we put our faith in someone or something, but then it's exploited. You know, it's manipulated. So we become scared of who to put our faith in. But we should put our faith in Krishna. He loves us the most. No one loves us more than Krishna does. He's our best friend. And he's saying, don't fear, just surrender to me. So this is the most confidential knowledge in executing religious principles. In the Bhagavatam also, it is stated that if one does not become Krishna conscious, after very rigidly executing one's specified religious duties, all his labor in following so-called religious principles is simply a waste of time. So Bhagavatam says that a person will say, I'm doing my duties perfectly. Whatever my occupational duty is, I'm doing it perfectly. But Bhagavatam says, okay, you did it perfectly, but at the end of life, you're going to leave this body, you know, where you're going to go in the next life. So what did you do actually? You just wasted your time here. The idea is that you do your duties perfectly, but become Krishna conscious. That is the goal. The goal is not that just do the duties perfectly, but the goal is to become Krishna conscious while doing the duties. So here also the sages confirm the statement that the Supreme Lord, not the demigods, is the ultimate goal of all religious principles. So the four Kumaras are also saying, yes, it's the Supreme Lord. The demigods are servants of the Supreme Lord. And so all our religious sentiment, all our worship, all our devotion should be directed for Krishna. Respect, yes, we respect everyone. Demigods are very great personalities. They are devotees of the Lord. They are devotees, and they are worthy of our utmost and highest respect. But worship and love is for the Supreme Lord. So there are many foolish propagandists who say that the worship of demigods is also a way to reach the supreme goal. But in the authorized statements of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, this is not accepted. Bhagavad Gita says that one who worships a particular demigod can reach the demigod's planet, but one who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead can enter into Vaikuntha. Some propagandists say that regardless of what one does, he will ultimately reach the supreme abode of the personality of Godhead. But this is not valid. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that those who worship the demigods will go to the planets of the demigods. Those who worship the Pitra will go to the planets of the Pitras, the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits are going to take birth among such beings. And oh Arjuna, those who worship me will come to me, to my eternal abode. So it's not that, oh, whoever you worship and the goal is the same. Prabhupada would give the example, if you're going to buy a train ticket, in those days was train, now you could say maybe a plane. If you buy a ticket to go to Australia, you're going to go to Australia. You're not going to reach America. But if you buy a ticket for America, you will reach America. You will not reach Australia. So it's illogical to say that, oh, whoever you worship, the destination is the same. No, destination is different then. Okay.
So like how you were yesterday telling about the ladder, the yoga ladder.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this is like that if somebody is doing something, then they'll get that.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
What is their desire? Like, what is their desire?
Yeah. And based on the desire, we are doing those activities, right? Why do we act? You know, what impels us to do some activity is because of our desire. We might say, no, I have these duties. That's what I'm doing. Okay, but then our desire is to do our duty, right? So it's our desire. And then some people have the desire to worship demigods, then they'll be on the Karmakand section.
Mm-hmm.
Then a little higher knowledge. After doing Karmakand, there's frustration. Oh my God, I try to enjoy my senses so much, but I'm still, this is frustrating. And nothing is real. Everything is fake because of the frustration and suffering. Yeah. Okay, then come to Gyan. Everything is a Brahman. You know, then you proceed further in the yoga ladder. And then you come a little more, get a little bit more knowledge. Oh, it's not one Brahman, there are two. There is, I am the Brahman, but there is Para-Brahman. There is the Supreme Soul, like that. And then ultimately, along the ladder, then you come to Bhakti. So Prabhupada and Krishna is saying, take the direct method, you know, don't go around. It'll take you a long time, many, many lifetimes. And then what's the surety in the next life, what birth we will get? So he's like, take the shortest method. That's what Krishna is saying. Yeah, so when people say, oh, you worship anyone and you're going to reach the same destination, no, it's not true. You know, the destination is different. So
I was under this illusion too.
Yeah, even I was. When in India, when you grow up, I think majority of us are under this illusion. Anybody you do, anything you do, you will go back to God. But what's happening? Even I was the same.
I had no concept.
Okay.
Like nothing, because going back was not a question at all. It was that, okay, just live.
Free,
yeah, just live. And what you're doing is, so there was no concept. It was just that, just pray, offer the water. We were just taught, offer the diya, offer the water, and just pray and sing. That's it. Dance and dance in front of him. Whenever there is a Ramji's Vibha, it was organized by my maternal grandparents every year in the Magh month, in the Posh month. And then we just used to dance and carry Ramji and shower flowers, and everybody came. And so we just thought that this is what it is. This is what, how you just pray to God, just offer the diya, water, tulsi, chandan, put a chandan tilak and dance and sing. That's it. No shastra at all. Just Hanuman Chalisa.
But at least you understood that Lord Ram is God, no? That's
yes,
very
yes,
good.
yes. Krishna
Very
and
good.
Ram. Yes, they
Yeah,
both
Krishna
were.
and Ram, that's God.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's good. Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah. Same here. Even in Penang, we used to, every Janmashtami, we used to take part in a play. We used to do all that,
Yeah.
And fancy dress, we used to dress up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the clear understanding was never given to us. Hey,
Never,
you know,
never, yeah.
No,
this is
not
God.
at
Come,
all.
let me introduce you to God. This is
No.
God. His name is Krishna. And
Yeah.
this is how he looks. You know, and so, and then because there's so
No,
much.
we used to go to the Krishna temple that we were like, every Sunday, it's like we are devoted.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then, of course, like I didn't know the difference between the demigods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we are not told that.
Demigods. Yes,
that
never.
the others are demigods and this is Krishna and he's God. We're not told that. And then then what happens? Because you hear so many things.
Yeah.
So much other garbage comes in the mind, you know, then it gets difficult when Krishna is saying, hey, I'm God, you know, and somebody else is saying, you know, Krishna is God. And then we are like, really? My parents never told me. My grandparents never told me. So then we have to, you know, really try to understand what the Shastra is saying, really hear and chant and to revive that faith, you know. Because I feel that because when we are small, then we are very impressionable. Then we say, oh, but my authorities, they never told me. My parents never told me. So are you going to cheat me? You know? So, but then the more we hear, the more we associate with devotees, then we understand, okay, what's the truth, you know? We're trying to understand. More we chant. And then, okay, yes, Krishna himself is saying, no other demigod says, I'm God. No one else says, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not Lord Shiva, not Lord Brahma.
And I was thinking that this has been existing since time immemorial. But we were covered by Maya and we had no clue. And there was nobody to tell us because this existed immemorial. The Bhagavad Gita was there and every time Krishna was telling, but then nobody told us, you know, nobody.
So, exactly. So then now we come to the most important part. How merciful. We are very fortunate to have mercy of Lord Caitanya. Krishna has always been there. All the pure devotees have been always worshipping Krishna. But we didn't know because we are very, you know, what is our background? What is our qualification? Nothing. Mercy of Lord Caitanya. Give Krishna to everyone. Spread the holy name. So we really need to, you know, take shelter of Lord Caitanya.
Yes.
By his mercy, we are getting to know Krishna. It's very difficult to know Krishna. Manushyanam Sahasresu Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it's very difficult to know me. Not many people know Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we are getting to know.
Yeah.
So through Lord Chaitanya's mercy, means like through chanting, right?
Yes.
Of the holy names.
Yes. And he said, everyone chant, not only, you know, the very high class Brahmanical cultured people, not only the Vaishnava devotee families. No, it's like everyone chant. Chant. Everyone.
And there is just one more thing I just wanted to say, that there was the devotee when the International Krishna Conscious Society was being formed. Then one of the persons suggested to Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, can we call it International Society of God Consciousness, International Society of God? But then Prabhupada said, why God? We know who's the God. So because maybe other people don't know God. So that's why they call him God. But we know who's the God. We know Krishna is the God. So we'll name it Krishna Consciousness. So that was so beautiful. Like, I mean, it's such a simple thing, but when you hear it, it makes so much sense, and it is so important that how clear he was and how he gave Krishna to every person.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was such a beautiful, and one more beautiful thing. I went to temple yesterday, and they have got this Gaur Nitai deities. They are so beautiful. They have got the new ones. So if somebody wants to buy, they can buy. And even Ram, Lakshman, Sita, Hanuman together, and then Gaur Nitai. And they have got some new addition at the temple. So if somebody wants to buy, then yes, please.
Jai.
Just yeah.
Jai, thank you. Yes, because Prabhupada didn't want, because many people say God and there's a lot of hodgepodge in our minds, So Prabhupada, as you rightly pointed out, to clear out all our misunderstanding, all our doubts, said, yes, Krishna is God, so Krishna consciousness. So thank you for that. The Lord is eternal. The Lord's servitor is eternal. The Lord is eternal. The Lord's servitor is eternal. We are all eternal. We're never going to die. We always think, oh, my problems will be finished after I leave the body. No, we are never going to die. We are going to continue living in the next body, and our consciousness is going to continue with us in the next body. So what we need to change is our consciousness right now, because the same miseries, the same suffering will continue with us in our next body. And the Lord's abode is also eternal. The spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planets, eternal, never finishes. They're all described here as Sanatan, or eternal. The result of devotional service, therefore, is not temporary. As is the achievement of heavenly planets by worshipping the demigods. So we see the result of devotional service is not temporary, but the result of worshipping demigods is temporary. Why? Because when we worship demigods, it will take us to a demigod planet. We will reach the planet of that demigod, and that planet of that demigod is temporary. That demigod himself is temporary. But if we do devotional service, bhakti, then we will go back to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, which is eternal. The sages wanted to stress that although the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, says that he worships the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, actually the Lord is worshipable not only by the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, but also by the demigods. So here the four Kumaras are pointing out to us that the Lord is worshipable even by the demigods. Of course, the Vaishnavas and Brahmanas always worship the Lord, but the demigods also worship the Lord. Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Ganesh, Hanumanji, Durga Devi, and there are a few popular ones, they all worship Krishna. So did anyone want to add anything?
No, all clear.
All good. Okay. So we'll end here for today for Caitanya, for Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So that's why we are very eternally indebted to Shila Prabhupada.